What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of Josh's Review Corner. On this episode, we're going to be reviewing A3's project, Sacred Calling. A3, also known as Aiden Torres, also a part of the Heaven on Earth collective, had dropped this album back in, I believe it was at the very beginning of August. And it was a project that I was looking forward to for a while after I heard his 2023 project, I Go to Hell for You. I felt like on that project, it was very messy and it was very raw in its aesthetic and its structure. But when I heard that he was, the thing was about that project is I really liked some of the sounds and some of the ideas he was going for on that project. And there are some songs on there to this day that I still really like. And so I was really looking forward to what he was going to be doing next. So when he dropped this album, Sacred Calling, at the beginning of August, it was definitely a sight for my eyes, and I'm really happy to present to you guys my findings and my opinions about this project, because I do have quite a few. As always, let's talk about the theme. And for the theme, I want to just speak the words of A3 himself, Mr. Aiden. This is what Aiden has to say about it. He says, "I usually love leaving things up for interpretation, but this cover is so special to me that I want to share its meaning. If you don't know, my lovely girlfriend is on the cover. You might ask, what does she have to do with it? During the process of making this album, I came to understand my calling's purpose, to ultimately serve people. She is one of the most important people in my life that I get to serve, and while I will share our story someday, just know that she is one of the reasons I live. She is part of my purpose and sacred calling." When I realized all this, an image kept popping into my head from Luke 22:42, where Jesus asked God to take away the impending suffering of the cross, but is still willing to endure if necessary. I see Jesus standing firm, softly tearing up, not because of the death, but because he knows his purpose will be fulfilled despite the pain. This reflects my calling. Even though it can feel like a burden, it's not just an option, it's an obligation. So you heard it from the man himself, and that's a pretty beautiful thing. So essentially the idea of sacred calling is it's service, and it's service despite the circumstances. So no matter what's going on in A3's life, he's going to still find a way to serve people. And ultimately, the person he wants to serve the most is God, right? That's ultimately who he's serving, but he wants to serve his girlfriend. And so, yeah, that is the purpose. And let's get into the favorites that I have from this project. I want to start off by talking about the song Sacred Calling, the self-titled track, or the album title track, Sacred Calling. This song is excellent song. I love it's like a very dark vibe with that distorted bass line in the mix. I love the vocal effects. I love the line, the Christian Bale. At my darkest night, I was the Christian that bailed. That's I love the way he rapped it. I love that line. Really good line. I think that's something that a lot of us as Christians can relate to. When the going gets tough, sometimes we just bow down instead of actually confronting those things head first. But I love what 350 or not 350, sorry, A3 is getting at here, because you might notice if you've listened to this project already that there's not really a whole lot of bars. It's not one of those projects that's going to whack you over the head with a ton of lyrics. But what it's really going for and what its main drive is the sound. The sound, whether it be the production that's being placed on each of these tracks, or the vocal effects that are being placed on these tracks, and the way he Aiden utilizes melodies and just cool little quirks in his voice. And so Sacred Calling has a really good sound, and this is actually one of the few songs on the project that really gives us a ton of bars on it, and I just really appreciate A3's job that he did on this song. Big shout out to the producer. I know A3 is listed as a producer for each song, basically, except for a couple. But A3 is listed as a producer here, and so is the producer Noel West. And 350. So big shout out to them for the great production on this song. And then that transitions into another song that I really like. I just want to live. I'm sorry, I'm trying my best to interpret. He has those vocal effects. Freedom on my neck. Dude, Austin Knoll killing it with this beat. This is such an Austin Knoll sound too. Whenever if you go back and listen to Upper Room and then you go and listen to this beat, this is definitely within that sonic palette that Austin Knoll presents, and it just fits so well with what A3 is trying to go for, and also with A3's voice. And so, I just want to sky like I said, what he's doing to his voice on here is just so good, and it keeps the track so interesting. Not so that it's not just like, okay, the instrumental is good. No, wait. A3's performance is really good. So I'm really digging I Just Want to Live. Then you have the song Lies Try to Take My Life, another favorite of mine, featuring 1K Few. This was one of the lead-up singles to this project, and this beat was given to us by Kilowatts. And Kilowatts is kind of like a guy he doesn't need any introduction. I believe he's on the don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's on the Heaven on Earth production team. And he does an amazing job with this beat. 1K Few provides a great verse on the second half that keeps the project interesting. A3 provides a great performance. So Lies Try to Take My Life, just a banger. There's nothing more I can say about it. It's just a banger. Really good song. And funny enough, the very next song is also a favorite. For me, this song, I was a bit confused by it because I heard the song, it's the song Pilly. Now, this song is also produced by Kilowatts, and I loved the beat whenever I heard it, but I was really confused about this hook. I'll be real with you. I thought potentially he was talking about abusing substances, and he was talking about popping pills, which, mind you, he does say that pretty explicitly. But I really think what the project is talking about, or what he's getting at with this song, is how that's how he used to be. That's what I'm getting away from, but now I'm in Christ, and so I don't need that. I don't need to pop a pill. And then Not Clyde provides a great feature. And so if that's the way he's going for it lyrically and just message-wise, I really appreciate that message and think it's an awesome way of presenting it. And then also A3 gives a great performance. The flows are crazy. Not Clyde, also going to have crazy flows. That's just who he is. So Pilly, another one of those favorites for me. Then I want to skip down to track number 9 here for a second. Another one of those songs that was a lead up to the album. And this was actually a song that he performed in the Holy Smoke sessions in the lead up to the Holy Smoke Festival, which was the song After Hours. Back on the production again is Austin Knoll from Remnant Sonics. And also we have a gentleman named Iggy Music on the production. Really dang good beat. I love this little, it's like that beginning production part is almost like you're in a rocket ship and you're about to take off, and then when the beat drops, you take off. And so it's just such an epic sound. And then obviously A3 has this very catchy hook. I don't want to follow. Love that vocal inflection on that line when he gets into the verses. So After Hours is one of my favorites. Then want to talk about the song, and really every song from this point out is a favorite for me. Woohoo, a favorite. No Excuses verse there. I'll tell you what that flow was from No Excuse. That flow is the Upper Room flow. That flow it takes you straight to the upper room. That flow is insane from No Excuse. The bass line, FaceTime, Waste Time, just bars. Love that. And Miggy gives a pretty energetic performance here on the second half as well. But this beat is easily the most banger, most intense, hardest hitting beat on the entire project. And Woohoo is just a woohoo. I love that little, like I said, that vocal inflection, and also the lose. Love the vocal inflection on the hook. So Woohoo is great. And then this is a little small detail I really like, is when he gets to the ending part and he gives that woohoo and then the drums come in, and it's actually a different drum pattern at the very, very end of the track. And I love that drum pattern that they utilize. So really great song. That beat was given to us by Wake Up Trill. I'm not going to say his name because it has a curse word in it, but it's F2 Beats essentially is what it's getting at. And 350. So really great song there. And then you have the last song on the project. I call this song the Heaven on Earth theme song. In fact, when Heaven on Earth was at Holy Smoke Festival this year, this is a song that they performed. And I really wish A3 had his own set at Holy Smoke because I love this project so much. But to be able to hear him perform this song live, it's just so epic. That beginning part, that singing part, I can see your face right now. I can feel it in this place. We're finna bring heaven on down, heaven on earth. Oh my goodness, such a great melody that he taps into there. Also, the production that's accompanying his vocal effects is just so epic. It's so epic, and then you get some really cool verses from Acclesso, singing like Kurt, singing like Fred Hammond. Child of the Most High, no idea, no idea. I mean, great. I just love Acclesso's energy. John Keith gives a great verse. Wolf gives a great verse. 350 gives a crazy verse, comes onto the beat hot with an insane flow. And so there's really not anything to hate on hate that you could. I don't see how you could hate this song or even not like the song. This song is just excellent, excellent, excellent song. Might be my favorite song on the entire project. In fact, I'd be willing to say it is my favorite song on the entire project. And we have King Mags who gave us the production here. So just bravo to that gentleman for the wonderful beat. And then I love another thing about this song that I really love, and it really touches me actually, is that ending melody and vocal singing that A3 is doing. It's just so good. It's just so good. It's so mesmerizing. That's the best word I could use. It's so mesmerizing. So that's all I have for favorites. As for my least favorite song is Behind the Curtain. I think that maybe this song could have been left off. I don't want to say that either because it is a pretty short and sweet project. You have 10 real songs and then the intro. And the intro is great, by the way. But you know what I mean. It's an intro and then 10 real songs, full-length songs. And it's only 21 minutes long. It's short and sweet. But I think Behind the Curtain maybe could have been explored a little bit better with the production and maybe with the maybe adding a hook here or there, or maybe going a bit deeper with the song. Because I just don't think there's too much there on that song to keep me interested. And it's especially coming after this 2-track thing from Who You Reflect and Frequency. And I don't mind those songs. I wouldn't say that they're my favorites, but I definitely say they're standouts. I love the vocal effects that keep popping in and out on Who You Reflect, and I love Frequency because of the change in tone, because it starts incorporating some instrumentation and different drums on that song. Flags running through the I like I said, I like Frequency, but Behind the Curtain. But when you have those two songs and they're not as good as the other songs on the album, and then you get to Behind the Curtain, and then it's just like that's a little bit too much of the same sound, and it doesn't really have anything interesting going on in the production mode. I mean, it's just, for me, that would be my least favorite song. Now, as for if this album is gospel-centered, I would say it most certainly is gospel-centered. The whole idea of Sacred Calling is about service. It's about loving your neighbor as yourself. It's about loving the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And really what's at the core of all of that is serving and loving one another. And so, yes, to answer the question of if this is gospel-centered, this is most certainly gospel-centered. Now, as for my final score, the final score that I would give this project after some much thought, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Really, really enjoyed this project. I think that A3, if he continues progressing in this sound, because the thing is, hearing this album compared to I Go to Hell for You, this is such a refined version of that album, and it's so much better for it. And I can only imagine as A3 progresses in his artistry and continues to pursue his calling, that he is going to continue to refine it, and it's going to make better songs, better projects, tighter projects, and he's just going to go up from here, man. And so I'm really looking forward to what A3 has going on next, and I really appreciated this album that he gave us back in August. You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of this project. What was your favorite song? Also, if you have any recommendations for albums that you would want me to listen to and potentially review, please put them in the comment section down below as well. I have some that I'm going back and doing for. I'm actually It's pretty funny because I dropped the Not Clyde review, and now I'm dropping this A3 review, and then the next review is actually the 350. So it's almost like I'm dropping that Heaven on Earth pack, and just but I promise you it wasn't intentional. It's just how it played out. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, guys, you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.